remember the prophecy.
I have it on DVD, and I've never seen it.
It's good.
It's not bad. It's not good.
It's right fucking there.
I feel like you throw it on, you smoke a little, you throw it on, you have a good time.
And you enjoy yourself.
Yeah. King of New York, though, is dope.
King of New York is a pretty good movie.
Dope.
Yeah.
The tampons in the suitcase scene. What are these for? To plug up the holes. I'm
thinking of Made in Manhattan.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that scene's also in Made in Manhattan,
It is.
so it's
with the
weird.
same scene.
It is.
It's a strange choice.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Shadow remake,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but with Jennifer Lopez.
My favorite actress.
Yeah, my favorite actress. She was in The Cell, which I kind of like.
That's a good movie. It
I thought it was going to be about Dragon Ball Z, and it was not.
has some dumb shit.
It is.
But it's a good movie.
It's every scene where they're not like in the killer's mind.
Is
a waste of fucking time.
You can't see the gesture I made, but I'm
You're cutting the thread.
Every time Vince Vaughn isn't talking, you just think that he's asleep. Are we starting? Are we going?
Yeah.
Is this the History Boys?
I think.
Well,
guys, we're the History Boys.
we sure are.
You know who we got? We got Jerry Nash.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello. I'm Jerry Nash.
There he is. Commit his voice to memory, and we got Tyler Armentrout.
Chris Whedon, right to my... It doesn't matter because it's audio.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm all around. And our on audio, we got Zach.
Yeah, he's on the line.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah, he's in a bunker, 40 stories below sea level.
Still here.
You'll
He
never
hasn't
see-
left.
Yeah.
And I'm Christopher Whedon, and we are the History Boys.
We are the History Boys.
History Boys!
And Jerry, I have a request for you.
Yes, sir.
I want you to tell me a story about a tiger.
Oh, I'm going to tell you a story about a tiger.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be the story about the deadliest animal to ever live. The Champawat tiger.
Oh, Hobbes.
Yeah. You wish.
It was the sequel to Calvin and Hobbes.
Where the tiger did some stuff that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, he
Yes.
After Calvin died of cancer, Hobbes took it pretty hard, and he went to India.
Yeah.
And this is what happened. Tell us, Jerry.
So in the Kumaon region of northern India, along the border of Nepal, there is a smaller division of land called Champawat, with the city of the same name as the sort of headquarters of this, like a state capital, if you will. During the late 1800s and into the early 1900s, there stalked a living nightmare, a man-eating tigress that was responsible for the deaths of a staggering 436 people, and some people say even more.
That's like a whole village right there.
That's a lot of people. Over the course of 4 years, this tiger killed at least 436 people.
Ted Bundy wishes he had those numbers.
It takes
Oh
a
my
village to feed a tiger, I believe is what the saying is.
Yeah.
Nice.
It takes a village. Just to kind of start off,
Give us the stats.
here's a few tiger facts for you.
Give us some facts.
A tiger's bite force is 1,050 pounds per square inch.
Rock and roll.
Almost twice that of a full-grown lion. And just to kind of give you some perspective here, a great white shark is 650 psi. And just for you, Chris, I included what a hyena is because Chris's favorite animal is a hyena. A hyena's bite is actually 1,100 psi, so it's actually greater than a tiger. So I just figured I'd
Imagine a whole
that.
crew of those coming at you.
Yeah.
Chewing up your bones.
Yeah.
But
They could digest bones.
I want
Let's talk about hyena.
Talk about the Champawat hyena.
Yeah. What did he do?
yeah.
She.
And by the way, the one that's the most, because I feel like we have to mention the, the
The
one
bite
with
strength of all of them?
Yeah, the largest one of all.
My
The
ex-girlfriend.
Oh,
She
yeah.
break your dick off.
The
We
Nile,
don't
the Nile,
talk about that, Tyler.
the Nile crocodile is the greatest with having 5,000 pounds per square inch.
That's a couple psi.
So even at the lowest, they bite you and you're dead.
Pretty much.
I have way lower than that.
I mean, yeah.
What is a human's?
I actually don't know.
Bite strength.
Human is a lot lower.
What?
Lower. I would
Like 2?
Look it up. Look it up.
I am
I
looking
would
it up.
honestly be interested. Any guesses? Like I'm
I
thinking
would
like
say-
30. I'm thinking 30.
I'd say 150.
Okay. I'm
200.
200.
Boom!
Well,
Okay.
150 to 200.
Okay.
I w-
Wow, that's much larger than I thought it would be.
I'm surprised. Yeah,
But we got the flat, shitty teeth of a primate. We don't have
giant ass teeth.
Yeah, we don't have flesh-rending teeth of a fucking
I'm not good at
apex
math,
predator.
I feel like we're not that much worse than a great white.
Well, the great white shark has those saw teeth too.
Yeah, we have
and
fucked up
rows
teeth.
and rows and rows of jagged saw-like teeth.
And they eat fish,
yeah,
which are very soft.
oh, they're tender. That's why I love
Well,
them.
they eat big old
Ah.
fish.
Yeah.
So getting back to tigers here, they are the largest cat species on the planet, and they're actually the third largest carnivore, third to polar bears and grizzly/brown bears, and they tip the scales around 450 pounds. Some of them full grown, which is a big boy.
That's a big boy.
It's a big boy.
I saw that they have one at the zoo. I've seen him. I saw him roll
Yeah.
around on his back like a cat. It was adorable.
Yeah,
And he would kill you without even thinking a second thought.
No,
Oh, yeah.
no, they wouldn't though.
You
They
don't think
would
so?
not.
But they could.
Well,
Hippos will.
We'll get to that. We'll get to why tigers do kill for food humans.
Fucking killing for fun.
We'll get to that. Yeah. Tigers usually eat up to 80 to 90 pounds of food in one sitting, but they usually feast on their kills for, around 2 to 3 days.
So that's like 3 30-pound poops.
No. That's 3 80-pound poops.
Oh, wait, yeah. I'm bad at math. And
A
that's
day.
so much shit.
That's 80 to 90 pounds a day. And they leave their kill there, and they kind of hang around it, and then just kind of...
For 3 days.
For 3 days.
I love leaving raw meat out for 3 days.
Yeah.
We're going to need a bigger litter box.
Nice.
Nice. That movie's called Claws.
Ah!
Yeah. There
Nice.
you go.
Thanks, guys.
And because their back legs are longer than their front legs, they can leap forward, like horizontally, 20 to 30 feet in one jump. And they are known to knock people off of elephants, like totally without a problem. Like if you're on top of an elephant, like trying to, like be like, hey, you can't get me now.
You can't get me up here. You
They can
see?
absolutely get you. Absolutely get
Like,
you.
hey, fucker, I'm on an elephant. What are you going to do?
Take that, Al Capone.
Yeah.
So this isn't an endorsement to ride elephants, because
well,
don't do that.
No, it's
I've
certainly
never
isn't.
ridden an elephant in my life.
I certainly have
Don't
not.
do it.
Also, don't ride tigers.
I certainly
For a
don't
different reason.
I don't think I want to ride an elephant.
I would totally ride a tiger.
I think riding
It'll
the...
eat you.
It'll just fuck you up.
If it's hungry enough, it'll eat you.
I feel like riding
catnip,
the
man.
tiger should be some combination of alcohol and hard drugs that you do in, like, Thailand.
Riding the tiger
I
sounds...
think that's a Dio
yeah.
lyric. Ride the tiger.
That might be an actual thing. A tiger's roar can be heard up to 2 miles away.
Oh,
Which is, I don't know, I thought that was kind of... 2
They got-
miles is kind of far.
they got stuff to say.
Yeah. I mean, they make
then-
a lot of other noises too, but like their like big roar is like incredibly loud,
And,
which I couldn't imagine hearing like in person. That would
Yeah.
that would shake me to my core.
yeah, and their bite is probably still worse than their... But it's not
Especially,
roar.
like, if you know there's, like, a man-eating tiger in the mix,
Oh my god!
and you hear
yes.
that,
Yeah,
You're
I
like,
would
well,
shit
I'm-
myself.
I'm going down.
You
Yeah.
better hope you have, like, a mech suit or a huge gun or, like, I don't know, live in a house.
Or yeah. Anyway,
Or be on an elephant. That works, right?
No, be on an elephant inside that's on top of another elephant. 2 elephants high.
Yeah, that was the problem.
jeez, you got to get 2 elephants in the mix.
Did you ever try 2 elephants?
No, I don't think they did. Now, tigers are normally nocturnal hunters. However, they are crafty opportunists as well, and they certainly will not pass up a kill during the daytime, and they are absolutely known to do that. And, their pads on the feet, just like, our kitty cats at home.
Oh, they got beans.
Yeah, they make them... It makes it easier for them to sneak up on their prey and be
Just
completely
silent.
silent. Yeah, completely silent.
Because they got those soft little pozzle wazzles.
Yeah. Tigers, the fact that they sneak up and pounce on you, they bite you in the neck, or sometimes like on the head.
Yeah.
And they have these like giant ass canine teeth that are anywhere from 6.5 inches to 7.8 inches long, which is like the size of like an illegal knife.
It's like as big as my flaccid penis.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
On a hot day.
On a hot date or a hot day?
A hot day.
On a hot day.
You know, like it's like a hot day, maybe post-ejac, you're looking good in front of a mirror, you're like, if I got caught naked now, not bad.
You know, when it's like real small.
You're like, let me put some ice on it so I don't freak anyone out.
Yeah.
With my elephant dick.
Chafing from
My dick's
dragging on the
so
ground all
big
morning.
that a tiger might knock somebody off of it.
And a tiger's tongue has like small barbs on it, like a cat's tongue.
Oh yeah, this was in the research.
Yeah, so
Like a kitty cat.
Licks
But-
your skin off.
yeah, it can literally lick your skin off.
These are monsters.
Yeah, it's a fucking
That's what I'm
monster.
getting here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they're so cute. Have you seen a tiger roll around on its back?
if it didn't have all of these properties, I would love to have one.
I saw a tiger
cuddle with that
roll
one.
around on its back at the Woodland Park Zoo. It was adorable.
I think the only thing scarier than seeing a tiger kill a person would be seeing somebody who survived a tiger attack.
Like
Dude, there are videos.
Yeah.
There are videos
and
on
they're
YouTube.
like, I wish I died.
And it's terrifying. There's videos of these guys on an elephant, and this tiger comes out of nowhere, out of this long grass, and leaps all the way on top of the thing. Like, look it up. It is absolutely insane.
That
it's
is
like,
why you don't
no.
ride elephants.
Yeah.
Tigers.
Yeah, that's the reason.
You ride 2 elephants.
Yeah. And lastly, they are a keystone species. They are an apex predator that is essential to keeping the ecosystem in its delicate balance. A lot like wolves and things like that.
Yeah.
You know. So they are important. So this tigress, this Champawat tiger, started its rampage in Nepal, killing over 200 people before the Nepalese army.
Nepalese.
Because it's not.
Like your nipples.
Well, it's not like
thought it was
Napoli, you know.
Yeah,
in
no.
Italy, it's the country.
Nepal?
No.
I thought it was Napoleon.
Napolitan.
Yes.
That doesn't sound right.
The Nepalese army chased it across the border, where it found its new hunting ground in Champawat.
No.
Because again, it's right on the
They're like, just-
on the border.
They should have built a wall.
I'd like
around
to
it.
think that they chased, they chased the tiger out.
All these tigers are getting over the border. Yeah.
They're like, I know a lot of tigers. They're really great. The ones that are coming over the border are not the best. They're not giving us our
I
best.
feel like you're kind of doing Bernie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's
There's
not
a
fair
little
that
bit of
1% of
overlap,
the
I guess.
tigers are coming over the border.
I just imagine a bunch
We gotta
of
build a wall.
dudes from Nepal like
We gotta build a wall to keep out the 1%.
chasing the tiger out of town in like a truck with pitchforks and like chickens are flying
Shake
out.
out
It's
a
like
boy.
bam, 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 yeah, like it's like that kind of getting chased out of town. That makes it, but you know,
They're banjos.
yeah, they were banjos.
They keep chasing us because they're playing that
Getaway music.
Getaway music.
Yeah,
That's a Simpsons reference. Let's move on.
So let me be clear. No tiger kills humans for food. Tigers will attack humans, but almost 100% of the time it's with their claws because they feel like threatened, and they're usually like guarding cubs or something. So they'll like bat at you and be like, "Get out of here!
Just fuck
you know?
off.
get away
But
from my
it's-
adorable children.
Yeah,
Aw.
it's with their claws, and certainly not with their teeth. When they attack with their teeth, it's because they want to eat you.
Oof.
So unless it is infirmed, like it has something wrong with it, or it's old, or it can't find anything else to eat, it is starving, then it will go after humans. And deforestation, can cause this. Tigers, like, a good example is, like, tigers will go after, like, a farmer's cattle. And, the farmer gets tired of that, so he goes out to shoot the tiger, and it'll miss and wound the tiger.
And then the tiger wants revenge.
And now the tiger lives a life
Yeah.
of sheer abject pain for the rest of its life, and so it's painful to hunt normal prey, so it goes after these soft
Easy,
targets, easy soft targets such as humans.
Hence revenge.
Well, yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, so you're saying that the tiger
like a-
attacks people because people suck?
It's like a
because people
Tarantino
attacked
movie.
it
Yeah,
and made it impossible for it to
yeah.
attack its normal
That's
prey.
why you have the human livestock and you keep the fences a little bit higher. Then you got some slim pickings on the side for the tiger. You're essentially paying
tribute.
You're paying tribute to
It's
a
not a bad
glorious
idea.
beast.
If you don't want that tiger in the mix, you gotta get that you gotta get your fence
Yeah.
2 elephants high.
You get a 2 elephant high fence, and then you have a 1 elephant high fence, and you got a bunch of sheep in there, and they're like, "Am I gonna be a wool sheep?" And you're like, "Yeah." You get in there.
Like, I'm noticing you're not shaving my wool. And I'm on the low end of the fence. And I'm like, well, I'm noticing that you were a sheep that talks. That's odd.
So,
Well,
and that absolutely was in the case with the Champawat Tigress, which is honestly similar for the majority of all man-eating, like, big cats. Like leopards will do this, panthers will do this, but only when they are infirmed. And so, researchers and historians think that something like this was going on, and like someone shot it in the face, because it's apparent from when they actually found the tiger that it was missing half of the canine on the top and bottom of one side of its face.
Wait, that's what shooting in the face did? It didn't, like, destroy its face, it just knocked 2 teeth out?
I think it was kind of a lucky shot.
it made it even more bloodthirsty.
Lucky
Yeah,
for who?
yeah. For the tiger.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
gonna say.
It was a lucky shot. Like,
Don't
it only
shoot
blew
it,
its
it'll
teeth
only
out.
make it angry.
Yeah, you made me look more badass, now I'm gonna kill all of you.
Yeah. So, yeah, the damage of those teeth, we talked about how, it made it so it lived a life of absolute pain and had to go after humans because it was too painful to go after what it normally goes
Tragic
Metal.
backstory, cool scars.
Cool scars.
Maybe an eye patch.
I feel like this
Don't
movie
look
would have...
don't look up the pictures. Let's just take
The
my
movie
word
would
for
have come
it.
out in, like...
We will put the pictures out.
Either the
Okay,
late
well-
80s or the late 90s. They're kind of... I'd go either way.
Yeah.
Like right around the time Spawn came
Yeah.
out.
Didn't Hall & Oates already write a song about...
Oh, man.
They
Maneater?
did.
Yeah.
I should listen to that today. Are
you talking about Maneater?
It fits absolutely well. She only comes out at night.
She only comes out at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch out, boy. She'll chew you
Tiger.
up.
Gonna eat ya. Man-eating tiger. Is that how the
Hall
song
& Oates.
goes?
Hall &
Yeah,
Oates.
Hall &
Yes,
Oates.
Man-Eater by Hall & Oates.
Man-eating tiger.
Man-eating
Hall &
tiger.
Oates.
She'll
Like-
eat you up.
Yeah. That's the way the song went.
She'll
For
crack your
copyright
skull with her
reasons.
long fangs.
Yeah.
And lick your skin off.
Only got 2 teeth, but there has the rest, but 2 are missing.
My name's John Oates.
Yeah.
I was talking about how tigers instinctually go for the neck and the head because that's the most efficient way to kill something.
Rock and roll.
Well, the fact that they don't always hunt humans, they don't really know sort of where to go. So a lot of the times they will get you by the neck or the head, but most of the time they kind of get like people when they're like bending over, like when they're like picking crops and things
because
like
we're always
this.
tying our shoes.
Well, because you're most vulnerable that way, and it knows it. And
Prison rules.
Yeah, exactly. And
Eat
so
that
they'll
ass.
Yeah.
so they snatch you that way, and when they snatch you that way, you are alive.
Yeah.
As they are pulling you into the jungle back to their lair,
Screaming.
the entire way, like knocking around on trees and stuff.
So, like,
Yeah.
I tried to kill you. You fucked it up by bending over.
Well, and like to anyone watching, which this happened all the time, people would see a tiger come out, snatch somebody, and drag him away. You would see it happen, and then hear him go into the jungle, which is terrifying.
Rule number 1: if you live in the jungle, eat poison every day. It's the only way you can even the odds. They're gonna take a bite, you might die, but you'll take them with you, and then you gotta take that.
You would take it to the grave.
You take it to the grave, being like, they got me,
You
but I got
will-
them better.
If you live in the jungle, you will get eaten by a tiger.
Eat poison.
100%
Eat
of the
poison.
time.
Yeah, just be tired and sluggish from constant poisoning yourself.
Just enough to not kill you.
Yeah, just
But
really.
all he has to do is eat like 7, 8, 9 of you until the poison builds up in the tiger system. Then he dies.
Yeah.
Well, that's why everyone's got to eat different poisons so he never gets immune.
Oh yeah, that would be an issue.
This is a good. This is
Like
the most perfect solution.
Don't
Why
you
didn't-
eat
why didn't they
arsenic?
think
I'm
of
already
this?
eating arsenic.
They fucked up.
I'm eating cyanide.
Like,
Yeah.
I called arsenic.
Who's on cyanide?
Yeah. God damn it, Steve. You were supposed to be on cyanide.
We can't all be on cyanide.
Getting all foggy from all this
all
poison.
this cyanide. So meanwhile, the people of Champawat, this is during the time, this is like turn of the century, early 1900s, and, British imperialism and colonialism in India is in full swing. One of the first things the British did was to take away all the guns of all the people. And I'm not trying to be like a Republican shill here. They took away the guns so they couldn't fight the British. And that's just a fact. That's just what they did.
They also couldn't fight the Tigers.
Yes, also that. So the only guns that they had left were really old, didn't work well, and not a whole lot of people knew how to use them.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? This is one instance where I'd be like, man, it would be nice if at least a couple of guys knew how to shoot a gun.
Yeah.
Well, they also probably could have gotten rid of all those British.
It's like a
Well,
reverse...
they didn't have machine guns, I'll put it to you that
Yeah.
way.
I mean, it was still rifles,
Yeah, there was, like double-barrel shotguns, And these are, like, outdated even for that time, too. Like, the guns they had, like, hidden away, like, were from, like, older conflicts that they still had.
They're so old that if you shoot a tiger in the face, you knock out 2 teeth before it drags you into the jungle screaming, and you die because you didn't eat any poison that day. Just saying.
I mean, you still would have died.
Yeah. I'm using the information that's being given to me here.
Now all your friends are going to die, too, because you didn't take your poison.
Well, also, that tiger took that gun and added it to his collection.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
The only people that were allowed to have guns were the, like, the Maharajas, and, like, there were these, type of people, they're extreme badasses, called the Shikaris.
Yeah.
And these people knew the land and knew, like, everything about the jungle, and they were allowed to carry guns. Why? To kill man-eaters. And, like, they're these, like, extreme badasses. Yeah, that, like, went out and did this. And, so it was only a few people that knew how to operate these ancient guns.
But they're also, like, societal elites, so they probably wouldn't be out there.
The Shikari's not necessarily... The Maharaja, though, like, he would have, like, hunting grounds. And, like, actually, he's kind of fucked up because, like, his hunting grounds are really big. And, like, he'd be like, no, this is only for the Maharaja to hunt in. Yeah. So, like, the neighboring villages couldn't hunt in the Maharaja's areas because it's his and he wants to hunt there.
So, like,
it's basically his own golf course.
Exactly. Yeah. And no one else can play golf there. And they're like, but that's kind of how we live.
We're like starving.
Course.
Can we hunt there? They're like, nah.
No.
He's like, now I'm going to hunt, and then they bring an animal bound in chains, and he walks up and shoots it in the head. And he's like, good hunt, let's go eat.
Yeah. Let me put the head on my wall.
I know you want to eat, but what am I going to kill for fun and then throw in the trash?
Exactly.
Maharaja sounds cool.
Rock and roll.
Honestly,
I think I've said that about 50 times.
the Maharaja of this era actually deserves his own episode. It's actually really interesting.
It's also a great bar in West Seattle.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So the people of Champawat were virtually helpless against a man-eater.
Just one tiger.
It's like seriously one tiger.
It's like reverse Batman.
Yeah. But think about it.
Regular Batman.
I mean, if the tiger was only killing criminals.
I mean, Batman killed everybody. According to your liberal media, maybe.
Yeah.
I want you to think about it this way. Every 2 to 3 days, tiger's got to come back and get more food.
Yeah.
He's
hungry. He pulled one of you away, and then you know that 2 to 3 days later, he's coming back for another one of you.
Do you think any of those people survived?
I should say.
Like, more than a day?
No, God, no. They didn't survive an hour.
I was just wondering, like, he's like, I'm gonna eat your meats that'll keep you alive.
No, it's not like a Buffalo Bill situation where it's like, you're gonna let me go if I do what you say, and the tiger's like, yes,
it's like,
do what I say.
Put the lotion, the fucking bastard.
Yeah, no. I'd imagine
listening to Goodbye Horses.
No, I'm sure the tiger's gonna break your neck first thing.
Oh yeah. Well, after it drags you to where it wants to eat you, which is the most terrifying part. Like you get dragged all the way, and like once you stop, it's like, is it over? And no, that's when it kills you.
It's the circle of life.
Yes, it is. It is over.
It is over.
Yeah. There's no bargaining with an apex predator.
Absolutely not. No.
It's like their main thing is not bargaining.
Yeah.
So they were, again, they were absolutely helpless to deal with this tiger. So the British colonial government hired all these shikaris to go after the Champawat tiger. None of them successful. So they put this bounty on this tiger. Like, God, somebody's got to take care of this goddamn thing. Because it's picking us off.
In the movie version of this, I'd like to think all of the shikaris, like, show up with their guns, and it's like in Empire Strikes Back when, like, Darth Vader has all the bounty hunters, you know?
Yeah.
But then the next day, outside the village, there's just a pile of ancient guns and a sign that's like, try harder.
Yeah, that's
And
pretty
blood.
much what it is, dude. That's, like, not far off, man.
Fucking badass.
Yeah. Yeah. No one succeeded in getting this tiger. They are notoriously difficult to track because you have to catch them right after a kill, which is kind of sucks because it's like, oh, wait for this tiger to kill one y'all, and I'll track it after that because that's the only way to track it.
It's like you can't get mad at your dog if you find poop. You have to catch it
You have to
pooping.
catch it, yeah.
But they're so sneaky.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
yeah, the tiger will disappear into the territory. Its territory, and like certain tigers, like their territory goes from like 7 to 10 miles, something like that, like square miles.
And this one was 25.
This one was like 25. Some people place the number at like 25 miles.
And we're just getting out of an era where a person would live their entire life and die within 5 miles of where they were born.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so this tiger was hunting in an area 5 times that large.
Well, yeah, keep in mind that Champawat was just one place. It just happens to be the most famous place that it's named after. But it went to other villages and picked more people off other than just there. Like, and like, like people would walk on the roads in broad daylight in big groups because they're like, don't walk by yourself because this thing will get you.
Oh, it'll
You know.
scoop you up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Much like I scoop up my cat.
this tiger
And
was
eat it.
trained to be a ghost. It could be anywhere, strike at any time, and we trained it to be that way. The CIA did when we were training that tiger to fight against the Soviet... Oh, wait, I was thinking of Osama bin Laden.
By the way, since we're talking about a super badass mad tiger,
Yeah.
another group of people talked about a super badass mad tiger band called Peelander Z.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
Fuck
hell
yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Kind of goes a little something like this.
Yeah. Yeah, badass. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I wasn't part of the conversation. I was in the bathroom.
Yeah, fucking rock and roll, man. Yeah, right. Yeah,
Ride the tiger!
and dope ass documentary as well.
Gotta check out that documentary.
Is that on Netflix?
It was for a long time, and then it went on to Hulu for a while.
It might be on Amazon or something now.
I don't know.
It's probably making the rounds.
Do yourself a favor and check it out because badass.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's it called again?
Mad the Tiger.
Mad the
Tiger.
Mad the Tiger.
Mad Tiger.
Mad
Literally,
Tiger.
I have a sticker on the recording laptop that
Yeah, dude.
says a Peelander Z documentary. Mad
Dude,
Tiger.
I'm kicking myself for not going and seeing that show at like what the Funhouse
The
or was
Funhouse, where Peelander purple crowd surfs from his kit to the bar and back with drink in hand.
that's incredible.
It was great.
I so wish I was at that show.
Talk about punk as fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, they are opportunistic and they get you when you're bending over, but usually it's they realize who's the weaker prey. So it's usually women and children that they get because like, you know, they realize that they can get them a little
They're
easier.
gentlemen, women and children first.
Yeah, I guess so.
In this case, a lady.
From about 1903 to 1907, the people of Champawat were ceaselessly terrorized by this tiger. They begged the government to help. They tried. Nothing happened until the British colonial government asked the help of a very famous man who was successful for hunting man-eating animals, like other predators like leopards and things like that. And his name was Jim Corbett.
Rock and roll.
Jim Corbett.
Sorry, I keep saying
He came
rock
in and he
roll.
goes, "You know what you need to hunt a lady? A gentleman."
There you
Took
go.
your thing. I took your
There you
thing,
go.
Chris.
No. I thought we were a team, and I was like, "Thanks, Tyler."
oh, shit, I
And then
should-
you turned it around to be like, "I took it from you." I'm like,
No, I shouldn't.
"It's
I
a
shouldn't
community
do that.
thing."
It was a community joke.
You know what you need to hunt a lady? A gentleman.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh,
I don't
she's
know.
a lady. She's also a man-eater. So
He's
that's
also
two
man.
songs.
That's two songs.
2 songs in one.
Colonel James Corbett, or Jim Corbett as he was better known, was a British subject of Irish descent who was born in Cuman and knew the area very well. He grew up there. He was a local. He spoke the Cuman language. And, he learned, these vital hunting tips from old shikaris. He learned how to shoot a gun very well. And because he was a British subject, he was allowed to have guns. So, yeah, he was a really great shot with this monster of a gun, this 450-400 Nitro, which is a black powder cartridge the size of a hot dog that was shot out of this thing.
Delicious.
Also,
Hot dog is the only scale I could think of.
I would imagine that he had no erectile problems. His penis was a very comfortable size. No issues with his masculinity whatsoever.
I don't think he bragged about it, no.
Well,
A true gentleman.
tell us more about his giant gun.
As a gentleman, I'm sure he had a tiny penis.
I will say, a lady never asks, and a gentleman never tells. I think I did that backwards.
Ah, okay. It sort of looks like a double barrel shotgun, but it's a rifle.
But his
And
dick?
This giant ass gun he had.
And
Oh,
I would
okay.
imagine he also
Gotcha.
has a handlebar mustache and one of those safari hats.
No, he has kind of a British gentleman mustache.
Okay.
Like, this is in the early 1900s. Like, this is he is the real life Alan Quartermain.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is the real life, pith helmet,
Yeah.
I'm
I-
one hu-
going
Did he
on
actually have
safari.
because I'm picturing
he
pith
did.
helmet, monocle,
He did.
big frilly mustache.
Yeah.
His mustache wasn't very big. Like, we're not talking Zapata here.
Yeah.
We're talking, smaller mustache, definitely pith helmet, no monocle.
Yeah.
But he could have worn a monocle.
He had a
would
fucking
have been out
monocle.
of
He
it would have
had,
been out of
he had
place.
enough of a mustache to keep a little chicken tikka in there when he was on the hunt.
Nice.
Oh, the British love chicken tikka.
It's
Because
the
that's a
national
British
dish.
That's a British
Absolutely.
invention. That's not an Indian.
The Indians made it for the British because they didn't like regular Indian food. That's
No, they don't like British food.
well, what? No.
The British
so
don't
when they
like Indian
colonized
food.
when the British colonized India, they were like, "Hey, this food's too weird. Make something that I'll like." And then they were like, "Okay,
Oh, yeah,
here's
that's probably
tikka
more
masala."
accurate. Yeah.
And then that's the reason why you can get like chicken tikka like everywhere over there.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And no burritos apparently, even in 2019.
No
What the fuck's going?
burritos?
Yeah.
Where? In India or Britain?
I mean, okay,
England?
so
Probably
what,
not neither.
I had a sushi
They're nowhere near
burrito
Mexico.
in Glasgow, and it was the grossest thing I've ever eaten. Champawat Tiger.
Now, Jim Corbett also had these other famous guns.
I like that
That-
the guy is
that-
famous for, not famous for his guns, but he's so famous that he has famous guns.
He has famous guns, yeah. That
He's
Republicans,
like Ted Nugent.
yeah, Republicans love to jerk off to Jim Corbett's guns because he was like this adventurer and he wrote his own books and he was this naturalist and he has all these crazy adventures because spoiler alert, I mean not really a spoiler. Jim Corbett hunted other man-eaters other than this one. This one is just the most
Like
famous.
the woman from the Hall & Oates song. He hunted her.
Also, his most famous guns were his
Sure.
left and right bicep.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah. They were named Teddy and Roosevelt.
Nice. Although he was British, and this is...
And I think that, that didn't work.
Winston and
Move on.
Although I'm sure Teddy Roosevelt
He was
would
named
have...
Winston and Churchill
Yeah.
because he's from the future.
I'm sure Teddy Roosevelt would have been, like, best friends with Jim Corbett if they ever met. Which they may have, actually.
Yeah.
Because Jim Corbett did take, like, celebrities and like, well-to-do people on
hunts, yeah.
Because he knew what he was doing, And if it was one guy taking me on, like, a safari hunt, I wouldn't want anyone else other than Jim Corbett. Jim Corbett knew what the hell he was doing.
Oh.
So, the British colonial government asked Jim Corbett to go after this tiger. He agreed if the government canceled its bounty on the tiger, and if they recalled all of the shikaris that were looking for the tiger, because for two reasons. He didn't want to seem like he was some sort of treasure hunter. He's like, look, I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this to help people that I grew up around.
He's a gentleman.
I don't know the people of Champawat, but these are people I grew up around, and I just want to help them. I'm not looking for money here, and also I don't want to get shot by a shikari who doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
The movie version, he is 100% doing it for the money, and he encourages more people to go.
Yeah,
because he's also going to be shooting them.
Well, and also
the most dangerous game.
in the movie version.
Did he ever hunt man?
No.
Yeah,
He goes in doing it for the money,
Maybe he did.
and then he realizes partway through that it's not as worthwhile as the friends he made along the way, and that's his
Nice.
arc.
he hung out with Jake Busey and hunted a man.
Yeah.
Dope. When Corbett arrived in Champawat, the townsfolk had locked themselves inside for a good 5 days. They were terrified to leave, because this tiger would just keep coming back all the time, and they were horrified. I mean, how could you not be? This is an apex predator that hunts exclusively humans now.
It's literally like the New
I'd be
Orleans Axeman, but if it was a tiger that couldn't be bargained with. And also didn't like jazz music. It doesn't matter how much jazz... It's a different guy.
No, that's a guy.
You're talking about that scat guy, the guy who was all about poop and he rapped about it in the 90s?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Scatman.
I'm trying to talk about a tiger. You changed the subject.
Anyway.
And you know what? They didn't trust Corbett at first, because here comes this white guy, and he's like, I'm going to help you. And they're like, whatever, dude. But he spoke their language, and they're like, okay. This guy kind of like got down to business like right away. He's like, where was the last time you saw it? Like, they're like, okay, this guy means business. Okay, I suppose.
Let's get down to business.
So
to defeat the Hobbs.
while he was there, the tiger killed again.
Uh,
Only this time it was a 16-year-old girl gathering food for her family. She was out there with her little brother, who witnessed.
who did nothing.
Well, what can you do? he witnessed the
Little
tiger.
bitch.
He witnessed the tiger drag her away into the jungle, her screaming the entire way, and he's like, "What?"
Couple takeaways here. One, that tiger had to have looked at that kid like, tell your friends about me. Two,
Like Batman.
yeah. I'm hoping that in the third act we find out Jim Corbett's half tiger,
In the movie, will be.
and that maybe the tiger is his half brother or half sister.
No, he's gonna
My
inject
bad.
tiger
That's
DNA into himself.
So he can think like the beast.
So he's Blade Tiger.
He's Blade Tiger.
I was thinking the third act of Van
Calling all
Helsing
freaks.
when he becomes a werewolf himself.
Oh.
Listen, all
never
you
saw that movie.
motherfuckers.
It's so bad.
No, actually, I did see that movie.
I saw it in the theater.
Back to the
Back
tiger.
to the
So
tiger.
back to Van Helsing. So, okay, back in stuff.
So the very next day after this 16-year-old girl is drugged into the jungle, kicking and screaming, Corbett decides he needs to act now, because he can't track this thing unless there's a kill to go off of. There's a blood trail, he can absolutely track it. So he gathers a group of, frankly, very brave townspeople to join him. Because A, they have no guns, they can't defend themselves. They're going out there unarmed for a man-eating tiger.
Where are they going?
They're going to help save their village, man. They're being really brave people.
But
that's
how are they
16.
helping?
Well, I'm gonna get to that,
Okay.
Tyler.
They line up, and they get eaten first, and then he shoots at
That's not the plan.
them. Well, it would have been a good plan.
So, they decided to go out there. As they're going along this trail, they're finding, like, bits of clothes from her. They're finding, like, it's a gory trail on the way. They're finding, like, bits of skull and brain on, like, rocks where she, like, knocked her head against it as the tiger was
The
dragging
tiger's
her
probably
through the
like has to
jungle.
like readjust its claws.
Well, it's in his mouth.
Well, fangs.
This is like almost a 400.
You know what I'm saying?
Like a 400-pound
I get
creature
loose, let me
here.
like bite you again, and
He probably did like
Before the
old
tiger
toss
even
up.
gets home, there's not going to be
The old
anything left.
toss-up,
It's
that's
all
all
on the
I'm saying.
trail.
Yeah, so
the old tiger toss-up.
well, in the family, because it is very important. I mean, to them and to a lot of people that they get something to bury and have like a proper burial. So like the mother of this woman was like, "Can you bring back something? Please bring back something." And I'm gonna kind of get to that later, but
There's some skull bits.
Yeah.
so he goes, "Okay, there's a clearing here. There's a mountain. There's sort of a hill, a big hill on one side, with like trees, and then there's like a clearing that overlooks it. That's all grass." So he instructs the there's like 200 people that he got from the village to go down, and he goes, "I want you to stand alongside this, sort of form like a semicircle around this clearing, and I want you to make a bunch of noise because I think the tiger's somewhere in here. And I want you to make a bunch of noise, and I want you to scare it up this hill, and I will be waiting at the top of this hill, and I'm gonna have a buddy with me, and my buddy, I'm gonna put him up in a tree behind me. He's gonna be a good, I think it's about like 20, 30 yards, something like that from him. And I'm gonna have my gun. He's gonna have his ancient ass shotgun on him. And I'm gonna have my like 450, 400 nitro on me.
Badass.
And he's like, I got 2 shots. 2 shots out of this gun. And then the shotgun. In case all goes to shit real quick. So they're doing it. He gives the signal. Everyone starts making noise. He's looking down there. He's looking down there. The tiger is seen being scared out of the clearing there, and it's heading up the hill. So his plan is working. And he takes aim, and with these kind of guns, there's these things you flip up for different yardage. Mm-hmm. So he flips up the first one, and he flips up the second one, and then he shoots it. And the tiger's still coming for him. And he's like, oh shit. Flips up the next few. Shoots again. He knows he misses. Tiger knows he's there. And he's coming for him. And he yells back to his friend. He's like, oh shit, basically. And he turns and he starts running. And he knows he has not long. A couple of seconds to get this done. And he goes, your gun. Like, I imagine it happening in, like, slow motion. Like, your gun. And the dude tosses down his shotgun to him. And he knows the second he catches that gun, he has to turn on his heels and pull the trigger. And if he doesn't do it on time, he's dead fucking meat. And so he turns around, and the tiger's, like right on top of him. And he pulls the gun, and the tiger slides towards him. And
Jim
he's
Corbett!
dead.
Fuck yes!
Jim
Right?
Corbett!
Now, that's crazy, right?
That's too badass.
That's insane, right?
That's insane.
Now I got something better for you.
It was the wrong tiger.
No,
Damn.
it wasn't.
Okay.
That tiger was there
So that now
to warn you.
now they're looking at it, and they're like, "Oh shit! The shotgun hit this thing in its paw. It was not the killing wound."
yeah.
Turns out his first shot did hit the tiger.
But it was just still
just kept-
going.
It was still
going.
going.
It was an adrenaline rush.
It was an adrenaline rush.
Holy shit.
And so the tiger kept going, and in some miraculous twist of fate, it died right as it got to Jim
Holy
Corbett.
shit!
Yeah.
That is an action
It is
movie.
insanity, right? That's like one of the most incredible things I've ever heard.
This podcast is now the Jim Corbett Chronicles, and we're
Yeah,
only
right?
going to talk about his hunts.
Yeah,
I don't think any of them are going to be as good as this.
James motherfucking Corbett!
Yeah, dude.
You can't see me kick my leg in the air, but I am.
He's kicking his leg.
all the villagers gathered
Again.
around. All the villagers gathered around. They're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you killed the monster. You killed the beast." You know, and like there was one guy that was there that was like, he's like, "Dude, this tiger killed my entire fucking family. He killed his wife. He killed like his daughter. He killed all of his kids. He was the last person alive." And he's like dumbfounded. He's like, "I can't believe I'm looking upon the thing that killed my entire family." And so, you know, they're looking at it, they're inspecting it, they obviously skin it and cut it apart.
Yeah, I'd
and
maybe shoot it a few more times
Yeah.
just in case.
Yeah.
and this is kind of fucked up to give this 16-year-old girl's mother something to bury. When they cut it open, they find the remains of this girl inside the tiger, and that's what they give her.
Like skeleton all, like
Well, whatever's in there, because they didn't find anything
here's
on
some
the trail.
goo.
Poop.
They're like, well, it's in the stomach, so it's undigested.
What I'm saying is,
Human-
did they
human
swallow
remains.
bone and shit?
I assume so. I mean, I don't know. I
Can
assume
tigers
so.
digest bones?
I have no idea.
You know who can? Hyenas.
Yeah, I have no idea. The remains they gave, they wrapped up into like a little
Bundle.
blanket, like somebody like tore their shirt or something and like put it into like this like 8-inch.
Like a bindle, like a hobo bindle.
Yeah, like a hobo
Yeah.
bindle. And
Here's a
and-
bindle of
And they're like,
guts.
"That's your daughter."
This is
That's
Here's your
all.
bindle of guts to represent your daughter.
Yeah, and she was
Bury
very
that or whatever.
she was very thankful for it. You know, they did want some sort
Well,
of
that's the
burial.
thought that counts.
It-
And
yeah.
also tiger meat, which,
Right.
if anyone knows, gets you rock hard. And
Yeah.
They ate it, right?
Yeah.
They ate that tiger?
it was
Yeah.
just wet pussies and hard dicks for like a day straight.
I think they just really celebrated
Yeah.
With an orgy.
what was going.
Yeah, you eat the tiger meat, you get virile from that meat. It's
No,
everyone
that's
knows
that's a big.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Jim Corbett
you know,
didn't
you have
know
your
where he
science,
began
and
and
I
other
have
villagers
mine.
ended.
I mean, after that, this is the most famous. This is one of the many man-eaters that Jim Corbett killed, but absolutely the most famous one. And he did dedicate his life to preserving tiger populations. In fact, to this day, there is one of the largest reserves for Bengal tigers that are endangered in Champawat that bears his name, the Jim Corbett National Forest, which if you are a rich person, you can go on safari there and,
Look at
and
the
see the tigers.
boys.
Look at them boys.
Didn't they rename
girls.
that conservation?
They did, yes. It was what was it called beforehand? It was called something else beforehand.
The
but
Butt Lickers United.
named it. They later named it the Jim Corbett.
The Rough Dick Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Butt Licker
National-
National Forest.
Yeah.
I know something.
Thank
Now-
you for bringing that to the table, Chris.
Thank you, Tyler.
You know, Jim Corbett would be famous for this and for his exploits, and he wrote a book about conserving tigers and other creatures, about his adventures.
I'd like to think he was just eating exotic meats, seeing what they would do to his virility.
No, that's certainly not the case.
It's the version that I'm
Real
telling
quick,
my-
It'll be in the movie,
because
right?
you keep bringing it up. Eating these animals, these apex predators, do nothing. Poachers go and kill these animals because they think it has some sort of pieces of them, or ingesting pieces of them, or having pieces of them gives you some sort of magical quality, or gives you some sort of virility. None of that's true. Let's just nip that in the bud here. None of that is fucking true. Poaching exists to this day on these endangered animals because of what you're mentioning, eating them and pretending that they give you some sort of super
Yeah,
strength.
I mean, you're right, and I kid a lot, but at the same time, there's only one meat that will give you magical powers, and that is eating human meat. As we all know, you will gain their knowledge, their strength, and their sexual qualities.
Yeah. The virility.
Yeah, or lack thereof. So don't go after,
And if you don't have enough blood, just drink the blood.
or just drink their positive energy.
Sorry,
You could
but-
always just be a psychic.
Listen to a
vampire,
Richard Chase podcast.
Yeah,
or
right,
something.
yeah. Now, he was a naturalist, and he did take a lot of people on haunts, and he's a complex figure now. Because there's a good argument to be made on both sides that Corbett was either some selfless hero that was helping the people of Champawat, which I do believe. honestly, if you're asking me. Or just another Eurocentric, paternalistic figure that would come to signify the era, which he was, honestly. So
why can't he be both?
Are fair.
Yeah.
Both are fair, honestly. But he was not some sort of white savior, and I don't think he viewed himself as that way. I think it would be a mistake to characterize him in that way.
Though in the movie we make, it will be.
Yeah. I think that if anything, he's, kind of a victim of circumstance, because the skills that he had were based off of the region where he lived, and he had advantages based off the fact that he was British that locals didn't have.
Exactly. He just happened to be someone who could have a gun, who grew up in a place where you could learn how to use a gun very well.
And also know the locals, know the language, know
so
the
what
territory.
You're saying is if
and
the British,
the times as well.
Essentially, if the British didn't take the guns from them, didn't impose these rules on them, they probably all could have done this and got rid of that tiger.
Oh, yes. Again, Shikaris still knew what they were doing.
So
this
100%,
was a very elusive tiger.
The British are actually the bad guys in this story.
100%.
Yeah.
The British Empire are the bad guys. I mean, they're the bad guys anyway. I mean, they have.
They're the bad guys in most stories.
In the run
Americans.
of mankind, whoever is holding the big stick is always the bad guy.
It's
Whether
true.
it's the British or maybe for the 20th century you got the Americans.
Right.
Then maybe in the 21st century going forward it's going to be China.
Well,
or Russia.
The Romans as well.
The Romans.
I mean,
Byzantines, Macedonians.
The Mongols at one point. The Persians at one point. So yeah, I mean there are, the time that this took place in, the British were what you were saying. Yeah. Absolutely.
Which, by the way, Jim Corbett also called his biceps the British Empire because they were so big that the sun never set on them.
Nice. So, I like that reference.
I would have said pecs, but...
son of a bitch. You did
it's more ridiculous?
Yeah. Well, I was going to go with another dick thing, but I felt like we did so many dick things, I didn't want to...
He defeated that tiger with 2 dicks tied behind his back.
Now what?
So neither are his.
No. Yeah, two other people's dicks.
Yeah.
He just likes dragging them around.
I do want to mention this. Today, according to the World Wildlife Foundation, since 1970, half of all wildlife in the world, wildlife as in biomass, the weight of just wildlife, is gone. Half since 1970 is gone. Which is incredible for me to think about. Half.
I have an anecdotal statistic that I think is ludicrous, and I believe it is more Bengal tigers are kept as pets or in zoos in the United States than are actually in the wild.
That is 100% true. 100% true.
I think the total number is like 7,000 in the world. It's like a ludicrously low number.
Yeah, I don't know the actual numbers, but it is very staggering. More are kept in captivity today than actually live in the wild.
Because if you let them go, they'll get you.
We'll get to that. Well, to talk to that point, breeding them in captivity is a mistake.
Well, yeah,
because they will never learn to be real tigers, right? Granted, they're not going to be man-eaters, but I think that's what as humankind, that's what we're afraid of. We're afraid of them becoming man-eaters, and we want them to be like dogs in our backyard.
Yeah.
We want them to be furry creatures, but they're not. They are wild animals. So when you go to like Thailand or some of these places,
they're like, meet a tiger.
No, that's fucked up. These tigers are not there for your selfies. They are apex predators that have evolved over millions of years to keep a delicate balance within an ecosystem.
Yeah.
They are not there so you can prove to your Facebook friends that you're worldly somehow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just saying that's wrong. We should not do that. I do want to be clear, when man-eaters are involved, they have to be brought down.
Sure.
Because at that point, their only prey is humans, because it's the most easy for them. But it is absolutely 100% a human creation. Mm-hmm. Whoever shot the Champawat tiger in the face and broke its teeth and made it infirmed, I feel is accessory to murder in 436 to 439 cases.
Sure.
Honestly.
Unless they were defending themselves, which they probably were not.
No. Well,
probably...
he probably was scared by a tiger and did what he did and didn't know what he's doing when he did it, but somebody did that and caused all of this to happen. To this day, this still happens because poachers who are not responsible, ethical hunters still do this thing, and they do create man-eaters. So, yeah, I want to make that clear, and, you know, with deforestation and all of these things, it helps to create man-eaters.
Yeah.
So I want to keep this in mind, like, when we talk about, you know, the issue of conservation and trophy hunting, we do have to keep this in mind. It is a very complicated issue with a lot of facets. It doesn't just have to do with the animals in a lot of cases, and it really depends on where you are in most of these cases to have the idea of conservation in mind when you do go trophy hunting, when these like rich white guys go trophy hunting. I would never want to do it, but you have to consider a few things before you talk about it. And these are very serious things you have to consider. First of all, you have to consider the fact that humans can die in these poor communities that have not a lot of ways of dealing with these things. Okay, and I'm not just talking about man-eaters. I'm talking about the fact that they are poor and their environment and these animals that they're living in a conjunction with are not producing anything for them. Yeah. So when a foreign government or foreign peoples offer to pay a lot of money to go and hunt certain animals, that is their source of income. Okay?
Right.
And something that not a whole lot of people know is that the meat, it wouldn't be regarded as super edible in like Western developed worlds, but that's not the case for them.
When they're starving.
They do eat the meat that is killed by these rich-ass white guys that do go out and hunt these things. And, you know, the obvious question is there ways to do this without killing animals? And the answer is yes. However, what that means is you know, a great example would be tourism. Okay, so tourism, let's take tourism. We don't have to kill animals if we have tourism because that would give them enough money to operate. Mm-hmm. But what goes along with tourism is infrastructure, hotels, trained people to deal with all these things and go on safari, and your overhead ends up climbing very quickly, and it's very expensive to maintain.
Also, the carbon footprint of that is ludicrous.
It is ludicrous. And you want to talk about deforestation, I mean, we would be taking that to 11 in all of these countries where this exists. So, trophy hunting is actually a very lucrative business for the people that live in these communities because there's no overhead.
And it's an exercise in conservation.
Well, and it is. It truly is. And there's a lot of reasons why, and it depends on the animal, and it depends on where you're at. But the thing is trophy hunters will go where tourists don't want to go. So, again, your overhead is so small, but the price tag is still very high. You know, and it's absolutely mismanaged in a lot of cases. Cecil the lion is an obvious case.
Right.
There are some animals that I feel personally should be illegal to hunt, but again, this has to do with the, I mean, for lack of a better term, GDP of this country. I want to put this into perspective for everyone. A great example, I think it's Honduras. They're a country that has a lot of rainforest. And they were like, you know, we have this area that's in the middle of our rainforest that has a lot of oil. And we're a poor country. And we can either cut down this rainforest and go get this oil, or we will ask the rest of the world to pay that amount so we don't have to go and do that. But you know what happened, Tyler?
What?
The world didn't answer. So you know what they did? They cut down the rainforest and then went after the oil.
And that's what's happening right now.
But that's what has... I mean, that's the reality, the grim reality that we live in. So when people decide to go out and kill some of these animals, a lot of the times, if it's managed correctly, they're killing certain animals, problematic animals. Not always, granted, not always, and I'm against that.
It's hard for me to live in a world where the Jimmy John's guy isn't a complete piece of shit. Or like Donald Trump Jr. I think the big issue is if you're big game hunting and it's part of pretty much like a reserve, and you're part of conserving the wildlife that's there. Don't take pictures and put them on your fucking Instagram.
I see. The thing is that's not even the problem though, because what that does is that that stirs people who don't know the context. But I want you to think, like, to give you a little bit of context, I want you to think about rhinos. Like, we all know that rhinos are endangered and honestly close to extinction for some species of rhinos.
Because if you grind up their horn, you get so hard when you eat that ground up horn.
So, but the thing is there are, like, when like male rhinos get older, they end up trying. It's a part of their instincts. They end up trying to kill younger rhinos that need to exist for longer to breed, you know? And if they're going to kill their own, we can't let that happen. And so, again, it is mismanaged sometimes. But a lot of the time, if you're going to pick out a specific rhino and say, this guy has to die, and if some rich-ass white guy is willing to pay millions of dollars to go out and kill this thing, honestly, that's not unreasonable.
It's going to support the people who live around there.
It will support the people that live around there, and it will support keeping these other animals alive. So
also those
it's an ugly business, don't get me wrong, and it's something I would never want to be a part of, but it is something that
the point is
needed.
It's all... There's so much gray area to everything. And these ecosystems are so fragile and so... Anything can kind of change it,
right?
For the better or for the worse. And honestly, humans being involved are probably causing the problem in the first place.
Oh well, that's what everything is,
and that's what we're dealing with.
That's what we're trying to undo.
Yes,
right? It is centuries.
So what you're saying is,
there's
certain cases where you're like, hey, here's a problematic animal that's actually damaging the ecosystem,
right?
You know, and then you have a rich white guy. I'm assuming he's white. He's always white.
Mostly. Come on.
Yeah. Who is like, hey, I'm going to come in there and shoot that animal, and then they can pay that money, and it'll help out that community.
And they get that ground up horn.
There are certain cases where it isn't necessarily damaging and is actually beneficial.
Absolutely. And in addition to that, everyone knows that the older rhinos tend to be more racist than the younger ones.
I do want to mention, to your point, you know, when poachers do hunt these things, they're hunting it for a black market.
Yeah.
And what the black market is, like when people are like, well, what is the black market? Why do people want these things? What is the need for poachers? And here's what the needs are. There are backwards-ass communities that to this day think that certain parts of the animal give you some sort of virility or some sort of supernatural power.
How many impotent motherfuckers are out there?
Yeah.
Is every rich motherfucker impotent? What's going on?
Yeah. Well, a big one is ancient Chinese medicine.
Yeah.
Which is a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Prove that shit in a fucking lab.
Yeah, so if you're a poacher and you're listening to this right now, I do hope you're mauled by a tiger. I really do. I hope you're mauled by a tiger.
Also, I want to see, like, the high-end lab where they're having, like, rabbits snort rhino horn to, like, see how hard their rabbit dicks get.
Videos of these auctions are on YouTube.
Well, yeah.
You can view them.
And, like, sharks that are bred in a bucket
also
on, like,
the newest
a boat
Jurassic
that's always on international waters so they can make shark fin soup.
It's the newest Jurassic World movie.
Yeah.
Well, and
very bad movie.
Well, and going back to my point on breeding tigers in captivity, shouldn't happen. I mean, granted, having just reserves is not going to bring back these tiger populations.
Can you reintroduce them after captivity?
No, not necessarily. Because humans have moved further in. And think about it this way. We in like the developed world, we can say, you guys shouldn't do this. You shouldn't deforest, you shouldn't do this for farmland. But we shouldn't be able to say that because we've already done that to North America.
We're doing that.
We already have. Now we have a high horse to stand on.
Yeah.
And all of our products come from this developing world that needs this room to actually produce.
When you
these
live in
things.
America and you
We have no leg
right
to
to stand on anything.
No, absolutely not.
Also,
absolutely
people
not.
who live there that need to live and survive, they can't be like, oh, am I going to get a job at fucking Dunkin' Donuts to support my family? No, go fuck yourself.
Absolutely. So, is trophy hunting unsavory? Absolutely. Are there some animals that I think should be excluded from trophy hunting? Absolutely. Giraffes, I think, should be excluded. They do not attack their young. They are benevolent herbivores.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. Let's stop killing giraffes. They are endangered.
Are they fucking up their... they're not fucking up their ecosystem by eating too much?
But the only reason why they're killing them is for that money.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, either let them pay... Either let rich Americans pay to go kill them, or pay them even more not to. But that's where we're at. That's literally where we're at. And as far as poachers go, you almost have to approach it the same way. I mean, I don't have the answer to this. There's no way we're going to resolve this on this fucking podcast. Absolutely.
The point is, it's complicated.
It's very complicated. I don't
As
think...
with any of these issues.
But I don't think there's any way to totally fix it. It's a downward spiral.
So
it's hard to be optimistic about it.
If like trophy hunting was on Facebook, its relationship status would be it's complicated.
Yes,
and the only way that we could truly fix the problem is by hunting the most dangerous game of all, which is man.
Which Ted Bundy
You
might
actually
agree
bring
with
up a great point because
As
I
usual.
think ultimately it's because of overpopulation of the human race.
Yeah.
And,
Well, yeah.
yeah, Bundy and Gacy and all those dudes, like
They're heroes.
monsters that they are, ultimately heroes.
As usual, Zach is right.
I'm in a bunker.
Ted Bundy was a hero. I've been saying it for years.
We need a pandemic.
To clarify, I
None of
don't
that's
actually think that
true.
was a joke.
No, that's
Yeah,
true.
and we don't promote hunting humans in any way,
Somebody's
especially
gonna-
in light of current political
Honestly,
events.
Speak for yourself.
The soundbite of me being like, Ted Bundy's a hero. I've been saying it for years.
Yeah, somebody's gonna isolate that.
Yeah.
Be like, Chris is a piece of shit.
Also, I think there's some dudes on 8chan
Killer
that do
back.
not need to hear that. They don't need that kind of support.
No, they
so.
do not. No, they do not. There's a big incel community that does not need to hear that. So, in conclusion, the Champawat Tigress is a warning to humans and their backwards ass ways that they have failed to heed. And unfortunately, it's going to be hard to reverse. If you're a poacher, again, and you're listening to this, go fuck yourself. If you want to pay millions of dollars to make your dick look bigger in your own mind, in the name of conservation, I'm fine with that. Just make sure that if you're killing one needlessly, hopefully it's a maneater, and hopefully you've got at least what it takes to carry around Jim Corbett's balls before you try something like that.
Fair
And if
enough.
not, kill yourself.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
We're some history boys.
We're some history boys telling you about history.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening so much. You can follow us on Twitter and all the bullshit, all the Facebook and whatnot. I know
We
it
had a
takes
show
us-
called We Kill 'Em.
You can
We
also go
might
on.
make more episodes someday.
I know it takes us a while to get out episodes and whatnot. You know what? We all have day jobs.
Yeah, we're gonna work for a living. prick.
This takes a while to do. I appreciate all of you who listen fervently. Just know that we do put a lot of time and love into every episode we do. We put a lot of thought into it. It is a lot of work, but I feel like it's worthwhile.
And we love you.
Yeah, we're working really hard. God,
Coming in on the weekends.
you know, we're gonna make a living, pay rent. We live in Seattle. It's fucking expensive. Jesus,
We live in Seattle.
get on my
Chris,
fucking case.
Chris, give him your address.
Send all hate mail to Chris Whedon.
I live at 3411.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right. Thank you again
Thank you,
for
everybody.
listening.
Have a good night.
All right.
We had a lot of fun. We'll see you next time.